listening to the Not So Christian in Me show, starring Southern Girl.
There's only one way. Welcome to the Not So Christian to Me show. I'm your host, Southern Girl Denise, and that was the lovely Miss Marcie with God's Way. And I have her in the building today. Please help me welcome Miss Marcie.
Hello,
Hey!
everybody.
How are
Hello.
you?
I'm well, trying to stay cool.
I know the summer is here.
It's here,
It
and it wants you to know
is
it's here.
definitely here. Yes, indeed, indeed. Thank you so much, Miss Marcie, for being my special guest, and I'm just so happy to have you on the show. And I just love your song "God's Way." And I'm here in Houston, Texas, and we have been playing your song in heavy rotation at KYOK radio station, and we just love God's Way. So tell my viewers a little bit about yourself and how did you come up with the song God's Way?
Okay, well, first, let me say thank you for having me. I appreciate you bringing me
Mhm.
onto your show. I'm honored, and thank you for playing God's Way. God's Way was actually introduced to me by my business partner and my manager. So I'll tell you about that in a second. But first, a little bit about
Okay.
myself. Born and raised in California. Spent a
Okay.
I come from Southern background, so my grandparents on both sides are from various parts of the South. So even
Okay.
though I'm a city girl, I was raised like the country. So a lot of the
Yeah.
things that they did in the country, my grandmother still did. She cooked, she canned, and
Uh-huh.
all of that. And so I learned also. I live in California, but I'm a Southern girl by
Southern
heart.
girl by heart,
So
huh?
yeah, so your name
When
just
it
touches
comes,
me. I understand,
oh,
honey.
when it co-
But
your southern hospitality comes out in your song. I can
thank
definitely
you.
feel that with
I
your music.
appreciate that. Yeah. And we never meet a stranger, in our family. And I was raised that you never meet a stranger. I
Yeah.
was, my grandmother, my mom, they would tell me, okay, take this pound of sugar next door to Miss So and so. And, and she's going to give us some flour or whatever. So I grew up with
Yeah.
all of it. Yeah. And
Yes.
so, and
Yes.
I was one of those kids in the neighborhood that everybody knew my family. And if I was
Uh-huh.
anybody in the street could get me, and then the phone would ring. And by the time I got home, mama would get me,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, all of that. But I'm grateful to my for my upbringing. I was born and raised in the church. In fact, my mother tells a story that when she was carrying me, she said that just like John, she said I leaped. The sermon was
Yeah.
being preached, and she was full of the Spirit. And she said inside her womb, she said, and it wasn't a kick. So my
Wow.
mother
You
has
was
a tendency
leaping.
to be very dramatic, but she assures me that it was real. And so the moment that I was born, she said she gave me back to the Lord. And she said, take my
Mm.
child and use my child however you please. And
Yeah.
so when my mother was very active in the choir, and so she brought me to church in a bassinet. So when I say I was born and raised in the church,
Oh
literally,
yeah. You literally.
literally. So I've been singing, they tell me I've been singing hymns since I was humming. So they
Okay.
said I was humming in the lap. And
Wow.
at 3 years old is when they started hearing me sing. And so
Mhm.
they started, putting me on the Easter programs, the Christmas programs, and
Yeah.
sing, baby, that's all
Yeah.
right,
Let the
baby.
Lord use that baby.
Use your baby. And believe it or not, I was extremely shy. I'm still shy, but
Yeah.
because of the gift that God has given me, I couldn't afford to be shy because people always was pushing me out to
Right.
use it.
Well, that's good that you have that support
It
system.
is. It
So
is.
good.
And so I started singing in the church. I was 12 years old on the radio at our church, 16 years
Okay.
old, youngest woman in the group that was a well-known group at our church, St. John Missionary Baptist
Hmm.
Church. And so I've been literally singing all my life.
Oh my goodness. So you were just born a singer. Now, do you have any other family members that sing as well?
So yes, I do. In fact, I have some family members that are related to me that like that a few generations removed. Like I'm
Okay.
related to Keith Pringle because my mother's sister was married to his cousin, and
Okay.
Enoch Pringle. They both have passed on, but yeah. So I do have
Hmm.
family members that sing. I have family members that play, that have
Okay.
played instruments, that have toured. And so I come from a musical family for sure. It was never a dull moment, during around the house during the holidays because somebody was going to sing something or play something. And before you know it, our family, we sound like a full choir when we all got together, you know?
Right.
Yes, yes. But I'm the only one that, that went, I'll say it this way. I'm the only one in our family that went the gospel route. If that
Okay,
makes sense.
gotcha. Oh, yes, it makes sense. It makes sense. So tell us a little bit about God's Way.
Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about my manager before I tell you about this song.
Okay.
So my manager and I, we're also business partners. We've known each other almost 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And we work together. And so when he just happened to discover that Sunday Best was having another, they had gone away for a while, but then they were having another audition.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said, you need to get on this. And so I did. In a couple of minutes, I got on it, sent out the little application. They called me 2 days later. Next thing I know, a week later, I was auditioning at Sunday Best.
Yeah.
So I made it all the way through until they chose the ones that was going to actually be on stage. Okay. And I think it might have been my interview. And I said, because I didn't really have that rags to riches kind of story, that I live under a bridge kind of stuff. That wasn't my story. You heard my story,
Yeah,
I just chose me to sing, and that's my story, right?
Right. They do look for that because it's TV.
Yeah, and there's nothing to
television.
Right. And there's nothing to knock those that have had situations that brought them to. There's nothing to knock them. That just wasn't my story.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told him, okay, fine. So I did the Sunday Best, and it didn't go the way we wanted it to because they didn't choose us. And then that's when he decided, it's okay, we're going to start a record label. Think about what you want to name it, da-da-da-da. And I was thinking to myself, I'm going to start no record label, and he was inspired by Jacqueline Carr. I think that Jacqueline Carr. I can't say her first name.
Yes.
And he said she was independent, so why can't you be independent? So that was a couple years ago. And so because we've been growing ever since we started with the company, he asked me if I would consider this song that he grew up singing. And it was with Willie Thornton and his choir. And Willie Thornton was well known in Texas. And it was a lot of people who supported us from Texas because he's from Texas. So it was a great homage to Texas. So when he brought the song to me, I listened to it. I liked the message. I liked what it had. I liked the way it sounded. Of course, it had that old school feel.
Yes, I love that.
But that's what holds water.
Yes.
And so I said, sure, I'll do it. And I sang, and I really sincerely felt it become a part of me. And that's how it happened. It was basically me, because when we first got started, Texas was a wonderful, welcoming state to us. And because Willie Thornton came out of Texas and he wrote God's Way, that was my way of saying thank you, Texas, by doing God's way.
Absolutely. And speaking of your manager, he is on. Hey, G.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm blessed.
And highly favored. Get that in there.
And not complaining about it.
So how was this whole experience for you, putting God's Way back out there on the map?
Well, as Marcie was saying, I'm from Houston. I grew up in going to church in 3rd Ward at the True Light Missionary Baptist Church, where the late pastor E.L. Lott was the pastor, and now Craig Taylor is the pastor. It's across the street there on Cleburne from the old Miller Junior High School.
Okay.
So while I was there in church as a teenager, one of the members, I was over our youth choir, just the president, I can't hold a note. And she told me, she said, I got a group that I think you would really blossom in if you go, he could really help you. So she sent me over, I forgot what Willie Thornton was. She sent me to this rehearsal. I went into the rehearsal, and when I went into the rehearsal, I got into the group. I wasn't with them for but like 4 months. I didn't sing with them a long time because of my football over at I'm a MB Smiley High School. I got to give them a shout out. Class of 1980. I got to give them a shout out.
Telling your age now. You're telling your age.
telling my age. But Willie sounded like James Cleveland to me in rehearsals. And I noticed anytime we went anywhere, it was probably 12 or 13 of us. And that's when community choirs were real big. Yolanda was with Southeast Inspirational, and they were having all these musicals all over the city. And I noticed when we went in, the first time I went in with them, somebody said, "See that little group right there? Watch when they get up. They sound like a mass choir." And I noticed Willie would always sing God's Way or No Way at All. So for years, that has been in my spirit, God's Way or No Way at All.
Mhm.
I never thought that I would be the co-CEO, CEO of Bethesda Records. Never thought it. And when we got this opportunity, my heart was just there to redo God's Way. And so I brought it to Marcie and to see if she would embrace it. She embraced it, and here we are today. And I think she did a wonderful job with it.
Yes, she did. She did a magnificent job.
Oh, thank you.
Now, is God's Way the first single on the record label?
No. Go ahead,
Okay.
Paige.
Believe it or not, I think it was 3 years ago. What was that, Marcie? What year was that? 3 years ago, when we started the label Bethesda Records. Our first single was "He Nailed It."
Yes.
Okay, and me being from Houston, having a brother that was in the music business, that was a DJ at Texas Southern, Lester Serpace. He did their Kids Jam program on Saturdays when we were teenagers.
Okay.
So once I started on the gospel side, he was happened to be in Houston at the time. We met at my mom's house, and I said, "Hey man, can you think you can get me over to Texas Southern? I need to see if I can get them to play our first single." And to make a long story short, we get there. Everybody embraces him. They know him, and they say, "Sure, we're going to get this on for you." So that was on a Friday. So all day Sunday, before I'm heading back to California, I'm listening for the song. Don't hear the song. Don't hear the song. I'm going up Terminal C to leave in the car with my mother, and we're coming up to Terminal C, and we're listening to Texas Southern KTSU, and I hear "He Nailed It." My mother said, "Isn't that your song?" I said, "That's my song. That's my song." So I called California immediately and tell Marcie, and she starts talking like only Marcie can do. She's done. So I'm yelling, "Shut up! Shut up! Listen, you're being hit here. Your song is being played in a city of 6 million people. Listen."
Yeah.
So "He Nailed It" was our first song. And to God be the glory. And we have been blessed for Marcie to do a 12-song LP, H2O, Marcie H2O.
I love the cover, by the way. I love it.
Thank you. This was a fluke, actually. They were, let me cut you off, Pace. So what happened was, you can't really tell, but this is my cousin Christina. That's the back of her head.
Okay.
And then this is my girlfriend, KK. We worked together.
Okay.
KK and I.
Yeah.
And her sister had gifted me. She said, "Well, Marcie's doing a photo shoot. Here's some jewelry. Tell her to take it and everything she likes or whatever." So KK was trying it on just to see if I liked it. And the photographer captured it. And so when he showed me, and that's why Christina's head is in the picture, because she was attending to me some other way. Yeah. And so when he showed me all the pictures that he had taken, I was like, "That's the one." And Chris was like, "Well, my head is on it." I said, "I don't care. That's the one." But that was a fluke.
Oh, wow. Sometimes those be the best pictures.
Pictures.
Caught off guard pictures. I love those pictures. In the moment pictures. And
right.
Yes, I love that. I love that. So
I'm sorry, Pace, I interrupted you.
Oh no, I'm glad that you told, explain how the cover came about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with that LP H2O, everything in there, Marcie wrote it.
Okay.
Every song, every lyric, and God blessed us to get it done within a year of us starting the label. Amen. And so in between us doing the first LP, we've done concerts, a Christmas concert, we've done a Valentine concert, we've done a Thanksgiving concert, and several videos. that are all up
All
on
of this
YouTube.
during the pandemic, I might say.
Oh, that's good. You guys
All
were
of this
busy.
All of this during the pandemic, and so we
Okay.
did it virtual. So it's all on YouTube.
Okay. And speaking of YouTube, what's the name on YouTube?
It's Bethesda Records. Yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yes.
So yes, we would definitely be checking you guys out on YouTube.
Thank you.
And
So-
I'd like to also share something else with you. On June the 10th, we're releasing another new single for this year.
Okay.
This is from somebody who was shy.
Yes, I know. You're not too shy.
I told you, let him, because he's gifted with speaking. You know, I let him tell you why, but I knew he could do this.
Yeah, because once he get on, I saw him coming out of his little shell. So tell us a little bit about that. Yeah.
This new CD, this new single that we're releasing on June the 10th. The way that happened was on our website. We had a gentleman to reach out to me from Atlanta. Atlanta, and he has some music that he's had for years, and he wanted to know if I would be interested in listening to some of his songs and considering to have Marcie to do how many songs we wanted from him. Okay. So we decided, we picked this one song, and I don't want to give the name right now because I want everything to be a surprise on June 10th. But I really think for the season that we've been in, that it's going to bless a lot of people's heart the same way that I think God's way is.
Oh yes, it's definitely going to bless everybody. What could we find the music on Juneteenth?
So if they go to our Bethesda Record YouTube page, we'll have that reminder.
Okay.
Yes, and so it'll be there immediately available for them on the 10th, and it'll be some teasers.
It's already a teaser out on YouTube, and it's indicating mark the date, and we're going to be posting another teaser tonight to remind people that this new single is going to drop at 12 o'clock June 9th.
Oh, good. I'm excited for you guys.
Thank you.
So what's next after that?
Well, okay, go ahead, Pace.
Well, what's next after that is that Marcie is in line to do a Christmas EP of all original songs.
Oh, wow. That's going to be good.
Yes,
you can go ahead, Marcie. I'm not saying it.
No, you're fine. You're doing fine. He skipped the fact that I'm also working on an EP that's gonna come possibly before the Christmas album. So we're gonna do another EP.
Why are you shaking his head?
Why are you shaking your head?
The EP is coming out next year, 2023.
Oh, see, that's why he's the manager. Listen, all I do, I go to the studio, I sing the music. I do what he said. This is your appointment. This is what we're doing. I say, okay.
Like boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
Okay, so then that's next year. Okay, I'm giving false information.
Right. What's been happening? What's been happening is that we released her first LP on January the 24th, and that was the date her birthday. Her first LP came out on. This year we released God's Way, the next year, January the 24th.
Oh,
so on her birthday, the next EP was going to be released January the 24th.
Right.
Oh, you got it lined up really good.
Right.
That's a good manager right there, girl. You got to keep
it.
And so with the new CD that's coming out on June 10th, I thought about it, and the gentleman I had said I was going to release it on June 10th. Well, June 10th happens to be my birthday. I said, we've been releasing everything on her birthday. I want to release one thing on my birthday. And come to find out, the gentleman that sent me the song, he's taking care of his elderly mother. And her birthday is June the 11th.
Oh.
So I was able to tell him he would be able to hear the song on June 10th as a gift to him and his mother.
And
that's a blessing.
It speaks volumes. So the name Bethesda, when Pace asked me to come up with the name, I went to the Lord and I asked him for the name. I said, Lord, I don't know what to name this record label. And I went to what I always generally do whenever I write. A lot of my music comes from scripture. A lot of it is scripture based. And so I will go to the Psalms often, or I go to parables. So if you listen to, for instance, my first project, there's a song called Two Women. And it talks about the woman with the issue of blood and the little girl who died, but Jesus said she was sleeping, said, dear girl, arise. It talks about Marcie 2.0 is about the woman Jesus met at the well. And so the album, and then I have He That Dwelleth in the Secret Place of the Most High, Psalm 91.
Okay.
But the album, but the business name is Bethesda. And the reason why I chose Bethesda was because in the story, there was a man that had been lame. He couldn't walk. And there was water. And every time the angel would trouble the water, people who were sick would go into the water and be healed. And so Jesus came up to him one day and he said, you want to be healed? Why don't you get in the water? And he was like, well, every time I try to go, Lord, he didn't know it was Jesus, but he said, every time I try to go, somebody beats me to it. So Jesus said, take up your bed and walk. And so the reason why I chose that is because I'm hoping that the music that we are putting out will meet people wherever they are. And sometimes we don't have the strength, or sometimes we don't have the means to really jump out and make the next step, but that's not required of us. What's required of us is faith, because if we just believe God, he'll do the rest.
Yes,
and so
he will.
I had to name it because for years people were saying, oh, Marcie, you should sing. Marcie, you should do an album. But I waited because I had, like I said, influence from my family, but they wanted me to go another route. And I didn't want to do it that way. I said, this is God's talent. If he wants me to do it, he'll bless me. And so he met me where I was.
Mm-hmm.
And so and he's, do you want this? Yeah, Lord. But every time I try, somebody else's project come up or people say they're going to help me and they don't. He said, do it. So I named it. And
I love it.
Thank you. So one of the things about this song, this gentleman that reached out from Atlanta, why I think this is such a beautiful birthday gift is because he had said pretty much the same thing. He had written for many people and people had been promising him. And he just thought he'd reach out to us on our website. And we listened to the music and we liked the music. He's very talented. And so I asked him, I said, do you mind if I rewrite the lyrics? He said, not at all. He's very humble. Not at all. So I rewrote the lyrics and shifted some things around to make it more Bethesda Records. And so when Paige said, I want to release it on the 10th for my birthday, and we found out his mother's birthday was the next day, I said, that's what we're all about. Mm-hmm. Meeting people that this is the first time he's going to hear his song in full production, to actually hold it in his hand, to hear it being played. So this is a great, great blessing. And
that's how you know God is in it.
Part of it, yeah.
That's how you know God is in it, because it lined it up so perfectly.
Yes, yes.
It's all a blessing, and I'm glad that
is.
you guys are able to share your blessings with the world and sharing your story on my platform, and that's just such a blessing both ways. So we all are being triple blessed here today.
Amen.
Speaking of blessings, how can we bless you? By sowing a seed into your music business. How can we reach out to you and support you?
Okay, so definitely. So I'm trying to, for sure, encourage people to like, share, subscribe my Bethesda Records page. That's for sure. I'm trying to grow my numbers there. Mm-hmm. But all my music is available under Bethesda Records on all the digital platforms. You can also find me under Marcie. And so, but on Spotify, Apple Music, I'm on all of that. Okay. And every song that's under our Bethesda Records YouTube page, it'll tell you the song. And so people are like, well, what's that one song? Okay, God's Way, Marcie God's Way. If they go look for it, Marcie, they'll find it on Spotify and Apple Music.
Okay.
And then at the end of the day, you can always go to our website and reach out to us there.
Okay, so there's several different ways that you guys can reach out to them. Please support, because we love them. We want you guys to love them, support each other. That's what this God's kingdom is all about, supporting each other, making us a better person. So once again, I want to thank you, Marcie and G Pace, for being my special guest. Do you guys have any final thoughts tonight?
Face.
I just want to thank KYOK and the Houston greater area for supporting us. And I really want to thank KYOK for what you did for us on last Saturday. We were tuned in. We were tuned in to the show, and we enjoyed the subject matter, and we were really tremendously grateful how many times our song rotated through that set.
We loved it. We loved it. Everybody in the studio was in tune with the message, and we just want to support you guys as much as we can here in Houston. And we just a phone call away. So just let us know, and definitely let us know when you come to Houston to perform.
Sure.
We want to be front row.
Absolutely.
We're working on that. Believe it or not, I got a team there in Houston that's part of the Bethesda staff that's working on trying to get us there somewhere, some church.
Oh, good. Awesome. Well, thank you guys again. And I want to thank everyone who tuned in today. Thank you guys so much for all the love and the support throughout the years. If you guys are interested in being a guest on the Not So Christian and Me show, please reach out to us on Instagram and Facebook at the Not So Christian and Me show. Until next time, remember that no matter what you guys are going through, God will always see you through. Stay blessed up. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You've been on your knees, praying diligently, but a change is yet to come. Oh, whatever it is that you need, whatever it happens to be, your praying isn't done. No, your breakthrough's closer, you'll soon have closure. The Lord is nigh, so dry your weeping eyes. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Just a prayer away, so you cannot sway. Stand firm in your belief. Oh, take your eyes off the time. Don't limit God in your mind, 'cause He can do anything. Yeah. Your breakthrough's closer, you'll soon have closure.
Don't stop praying, your help is on the way. Don't stop praying, He's the God that hears and answers. Keep on praying, for He inhabits your praise. Don't stop praying, your healing is right there. Your deliverance is right there. Your breakthrough is right there. Your blessing is right there. Come on, you got to see it before you see it. Don't give up.